Welcome back to Game On, where we use sports and athletics to talk about everything related to mental health. Today, we're going to talk about the playoffs. We're at the end of the summer now. As I'm recording this, depending on the time of year you're watching this, there might be a team or a sport that's about to head into the playoffs. And there's something interesting about the playoffs is that teams and players and coaches all of a sudden automatically seem to raise the level of intensity, raise the level of competition. It's almost like rising to the occasion. You've heard that before. You may have heard teams being described as they play to the level of their competition, whether it's individual or team sports. And it's interesting, and we can maybe another time talk about trap games and things like that. Now, without even trying to figure out the reason why, maybe somebody or the team realizes what's at stake, they've been sort of pacing themselves and they get to this point. But to me, it's not even really that important to understand exactly why. And the truth is, it's probably many different factors. But the fact that it exists teaches me something in the mental health area, because a lot of us sort of ride this wave of like, oh, this is going good and then crash, and then this is going good and then crash, and like it's this all or nothing. This is not good, it's all good. And my takeaway from this is that, first of all, even if you can't sustain a certain level, whatever that success means, how I feel, what I do, work, money, whatever it is, the fact that I did do it, to me, is a takeaway. File it away. It's a deposit that I was able to do something. I was able to challenge myself. It doesn't even necessarily depend on the result. If I'm struggling with anxiety, and let's say social anxiety, and I go ahead and put myself out there and I challenge myself, and it's really uncomfortable, it's really hard, but I do it anyway. That is huge, because that is a deposit. Okay, now I know I am capable of doing it, even if it's really hard and really uncomfortable. And does that mean that I can sustain it for a lengthy period of time? Maybe not. That might get overwhelming, but I could do it. So to me, the playoffs, matching the higher level of competition, tells me I could do this. I have these reserves. I have this perseverance. I have this energy. And if I really focus, if I really try hard, if I really push, and it's a push and it's hard, I could do something. I could push through something. Versus like, oh, there's just some happenstance reason. There's no real explanation. Yeah, it just happened. A lot of people will give a qualifier. Oh, it was just lucky. It just happened. No, you are capable of doing this. It's not unsupportive to think of can't being a bad word, because I can understand and respect and appreciate something is really, really hard. At the same time, I also believe that it could be done. Again, hard, maybe uncomfortable, could get overwhelming, but it could be done. And instead of us being our own worst enemy and saying we can't, just like throwing in the towel, we could. Really hard, doesn't mean it can always do it, but we could. And that's what I take away from the playoffs, that somehow, some way, we're able to rise above maybe what we thought we could. And if we continue filing that away and then being able to pull that card out later, when we really need to do something, and say, you know what, I remember I could. And if you do a little research online, you can look up the negativity bias, that we seem to get more attached to something that is negative, and it leaves a more lasting impression when something negative happens, when something doesn't work out. So we have to work doubly hard to recognize, to file away, to hold on to when things do go well, whether the result reflects it or not. But I push myself. And whether it's different things at work, different things in relationship, different things at times of the year where there's things that are higher stakes at certain times of the year, and you want to prove, you want to demonstrate, or different life cycles, life periods in your life where you really need to step it up, you are capable of doing it. And we have to maybe more consciously remind ourselves that we are capable of doing it. But it's really important to hold on to those things, file them away like cookies on a computer, and then being able to pull those files out, those deposits out, to be used at a future date. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.